everybody. So you guys finished up your shading on the sphere, the reverse shading, because we're still working on black with white colored pencil. And the last little step of our project, you have your value scale, you have your sphere, and now you're just going to do a simple soft serve ice cream. And some of you guys did that when we were doing white paper with graphite pencil, and now you're going to try and reverse it. And remember, it's good practice just to kind of wrap your mind around different color values, especially in black and white, and then hopefully you'll be able to transfer that over when you're working in color to notice the light and dark value changes that are going to help your drawing be more real. So you have a reference photo, you can pull it up and look at it on your screen. If you want to print it out, you can. You're just working on a small piece of black paper. I just had this one laying on my table, so I'm just for some reason using this big one. And using a reference photo, I am sketching out just a loose kind of contour drawing of the overall shape of the ice cream. And then once I get that part done, it helps me to go back and kind of mark off where certain value changes are to see those shapes. So I'm going to go back in and just kind of block out where I think color values are happening, where changes are happening. So I'll go through and I've marked these off already, and I'm just making them a little darker so you can see them on the camera. And you don't have to block all of them in, but I want kind of a general area of where my lightest lights are going to be and where my darkest darks are going to be. And then I'm going to move this. And you can kind of just map that out before you start your shading. And I think I'm going to do mine almost cross-hatching. I'm going to go in both directions, this way and then this way, and build up the layers. Remember, you need to start light, and then by the time you get to the whitest whites, if you have that base layer down, then it's easier to make that bright white where the light is hitting it. Now I've got, I do have 3 different kinds of white colored pencils, and I'm just going to experiment and see which one I like the best on this black paper. So I've got just a cheapy Crayola one, I've got a Prismacolor one, I've got this School Smart one. You guys have the construction paper colored pencils, which are nice and soft. They're pretty like an economical Prismacolor type feel. So experiment around. If you have your own colored pencils and you have a white pencil that you want to play around with, you could do that just to see which one you like better. I was finding that the Prismacolor one was super waxy the other day when we were doing the sphere, so I'm going to try this School Smart one and the Crayola one and just see how those feel. So I'm going to do this on the time lapse, and you guys are too, and then that will finish up our white on black experiment, and it's going to set us up for our next drawing challenge. So I'm going to switch this to the time lapse, and let's see how they come out. Okay, so I'm going to go back through on mine, and I'm going to lighten some of those whitest whites And the Crayola pencil actually was what I used when I'm trying to smooth it out. Like I'm gonna go back through down here and use it to kind of blend in some of this down here to make it a little smoother. The School Smart, similar to it's really hard. It's a hard lead, so it doesn't blend a lot. The Prismacolor is the whitest white, so if you have a Prismacolor, you could use that. I might even go back with a Posca pen in a little bit and lighten up some of these whites. You kind of have to use what you've got to get the look that you want, but you can do it with just the white construction paper pencil that you have. So I'm going to rework some of this down here on the bottom, but you're basically going to reverse shade your ice cream, and that will be the third part of your project. So when you turn it in, there'll be three parts: your value scale, and you can just lay your value scale on one of these, your sphere, and your ice cream. And you should be able to finish that, I would think. You know, it won't take you long to do this ice cream once you get going on it. And it's going to take me just a little bit longer to finish up my whitest whites. So I'm going to keep working this part down here at the bottom. And when you guys finish that, and I don't know how, let's see, I don't know how I filled in this little part up here. I mean, I know how I did it, I don't know why I did it. Because there's a space where the ice cream bends over right there. So I'm going to go back through and clean up and get some darker darks and some whiter whites. And don't get a rush when you do yours. Make sure you're just taking your time and checking your reference photo and seeing where your shadows are. All right? I can't wait to see what you upload.